Good morning, good evening, everybody from the different part of the world. Welcome to my session, UI and UX in Power Apps. I'm Krishna. I am a Microsoft Business Applications MVP. A little bit about me. I'm Krishna. I have 15 years of IT experience. I'm a proven Power Apps and Power Platform lead. I am a Power Apps community super user. I have contributed 270 plus solutions in the community. I'm a certified SharePoint solution architect. I am a business applications MVP. I am a speaker in both Office 365 and local user groups. Recently, I am also a new YouTuber. I have started a new YouTube channel wherein I am sharing all my knowledge about Power Apps and Power Platform. Okay, coming to today's agenda, the UI and UX. Before I jump into anything, wanted to take a minute why it is really needed in the Power Platform area or any development area. UI and UX is nothing but user interaction or interface and users experience. So which is very crucial when we are developing or implementing any app. We should ensure that users interface is intuitive enough to understand what it is and how it is working. And experience, we should ensure, we as a maker, we should ensure that the experience is seamlessly working and users are not getting upset with the performance or the way how the app is designed. Having said that, first thing is I wanted to say a few why and why shouldn't do as part of this. We have a limit of 500 controls in Power Apps. If app has more than 500 controls, the performance of the app will go down drastically as per the guidelines from Microsoft. And if we have, by the way, do you see my screen or no? You see my screen?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so having said that, few of the things we have to take care while we are creating the app. One of the thing is we should use galleries rather than implementing multiple labels or the text boxes as part of a table. Usual tendency is that when we are creating a table, we will end up creating that many number of labels to show the data as part of as part of a gallery. Rather than doing that, rather as part of the screen, sorry, rather than doing that, implement it as a gallery and use one label or the gallery's behavior. As we all know, it will automatically iterate the data with a single or multiple labels as per the number of columns we need. Next one is implement components. When we are creating the app, we should know the depth of the application and how many screens and how many controls we might end up with. So when we are analyzing the application, ensure that we have enough bandwidth on the controls. If we do not plan to reuse the controls by creating the components, we will end up with exceeding the number of controls count. So I highly recommend that do not create multiple labels, repeated labels across the screens in the app. Rather, you create them as a component. And the next one is never waste time, apply properties on each and every control. What does that exactly means is that when we are creating the app, we are creating controls like when we create a label and or when we create a button and we wanted to give an icon to button. So never add the code behind for button and the icon separately. Group them and apply the properties at the group level rather than at the control level. And next one is add canvas control for auto scroller. We all know that in in this Power Apps Canvas app, we don't have that behavior of vertical horizontal scroller or vertical scroller when we are creating the app. So in order to get the vertical scroller automatically as part of the canvas screen, use the canvas control, which I will show you in a moment. And the next one is use HTML control. Why I'm saying use HTML control, when we want to show some images or like, funky shadows and the customized view, what we always do is that we will create an image online and we will get that image and we will incorporate that image as part of the app. But we have a limit of 200 MB at the media library level. If we exceed that 200 MB while downloading number of controls as part of our app, 200 MB is nothing. When we download a high quality image which is coming as 2 MB as of today in our mobiles and everything. So imagine that if I get 10 images, my 200 MB, sorry, get a say like 50 images, my app is coming with 100 MB. That's okay. Even now, I am within the cap of 200 MB. But imagine Power Up is not meant for only web users. We are targeting the app to use mobile users as extensively because Power Up is meant for mobility. Imagine if I had to load 100 images at the app level, my app is getting heavyweight and I am sucking my users internet bandwidth. If we are running on a mobile data, I am sucking 100 MB straight away just to load the images, which is a bad practice. When we do that, what happens is user will say like, no, 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 don't open that app on the mobile. What happens is it will suck all my mobile data because I am loading 100 MB for only to load the media gallery. So how I can avoid that, Krishna? Use HTML control. Using HTML control, I have noticed, me being at the community level, I have noticed people are very less exposed on HTML control. They don't use the HTML control, but HTML control is one of the powerful control, very powerful control in Power Apps because I can customize my text the way I want and I can create the buttons the way I want. Example to say one of the button. This is a HTML control. That is a button. Do you really think so? It's a button, but it is a button. But that button I have created using HTML control. If I had to do that without HTML control, there is no other way. I have to create on the internet on a free websites or like create using Photoshop and download that as an image. But tomorrow, if user come back and say like, Krishna, change the text from this is a HTML control to this is just HTML control, I had to ask my designer to change the text. It is very painful. But if I use the same thing as the HTML, everything is in my control. And the next one is you can see I have added a phone icon. If while I'm creating the forms, I wanted to show a phone icon for a simple number field or like mobile number field, what happens is I can use this div tag and show the phone icon followed by my preceded by number. Again, the icon is not a image. It is running on top of that. What is the advantage I'm getting out of this HTML control is if I had to use an image in my app, I had to add a image control and refer my image, which means that I am running out of my control count of 500 as well as I'm running out of my gallery media library limitation of 200 MB. So which is again a pain part. Last but not least, this is a HTML control, a big HTML control label. Usually, we are very fond of customizing the controls or customizing the text with a different styling. But if you notice in Power Apps, the styling limits are very low. The number of styles we can use for a label is probably around 20. But if I want a label or a heading with the shadow as like this, you cannot create with out of the box unless you use HTML control as part of your screen. Okay, let us see how we can do that as part of Power App. Feel free to interrupt me if you have any doubts, any questions. Hope you can see my Internet Explorer now. Could somebody just confirm on that?
No, no, it's still the. Oh yeah, it's fine.
Now you can see my Maker portal. Perhaps Maker portal. Could somebody confirm on that?
Yeah, demo in Microsoft.
Yeah, see this. This is a title I have created as part of my. Let me take this out. And if I wanted to just say that this is my HTML, simple, very simple HTML control. And inside the HTML control, I have used my div tag and then followed by text, whatever the text I want. And if I wanted to change the text as and the beauty is I can control the data and the font, everything in just 2 minutes away. The font size is here. Let us say 40. Automatically it will go out. If I want more than that, I can improve. So the advantage is user has the the we as a maker, we can improve the user's experience as of are they in Power App or are they in a traditional .NET website. So we can improve the experience of user by using HTML control so that a user will feel that a rich look and feel and they can add the way they want. And the next one is a button. If you see here, this is a classic button. If I wanted to add, if I wanted to change that, this is a demo as part of my session. If I want to break my text by adding a break line or a break to ensure that this is a demo as line 1 and the rest is line 2. If I do like this, what happens is I can see my HTML code as part of the button. But if I use a HTML control, what happens is I can play with the text like the way I want. If I say this, this is a demo as part of my session. Do you see that? I can incorporate and when I say it this works as a button, how I can say that is this control comes with the on select property so that if I really want to fire any query by clicking on this, I can fire any functionality as part of on select. This is a button created using HTML control. So if I want to navigate, I can navigate, I can do anything like the way how I can do as part of a button. So this is how I can improve my users experience that whether they are using a Power App or they are using a traditional .NET or Java web pages. And the next one is, as I was telling, the simple icons. Now, if I wanted to show a weather report today, it is very hot and the temperature is 45 degrees. Now, if I just expand that with font size as say like 20, I automatically get that. So if I had to show the sun icon as part of my Power App, if I don't use the HTML control, if I'll end up importing a image for the sun icon and another label to show this text. But now I can add everything into one control and there is no upper bound limit on using these controls. And how do I get these ASCII codes, Krishna? Because it's not that easy as a traditional citizen developer as part of the Power App to get all these ASCII codes. How I'm doing that is I am using this ASCII code. If I just change this ASCII code, I will get something different uh, icon. You see that when I'm changing the icon, the values icon value, the icon is going into a different icon. So this is the way I am doing that. But where do I get all these icons, Krishna? It is out there for us. In when you go to the W3 schools, this is the URL you can go, and this is the hexadecimal code I'm using. This is the exact hexadecimal code I'm using as part of my HTML control. And these are all absolutely free. No need to go to internet to import any of these images. If you see, I can incorporate even the chess icons also. So this is that easy to improve my users experience as rich as I can. So I highly recommend to start leveraging the HTML control as part of the Power App screen to show any small or quick icons rather than downloading icon and import it into media library. And the next one is progress bar. What is this progress bar means is that if I had to, if you see here, the progress bar is showing yellow for stage one and the rest is gray. And if I wanted to show my user that which stage are you exactly and what are all the stages you have already covered, this is the best way to show the user that the progress of their farm filling or like their approach. And when I complete the stage one, my previous stages, I am turning my stage notation or like stage indicator to green, and whichever the stage I am in, I am showing that it is on yellow so that user know that which state they are exactly sitting on. So how does that look like exactly is like this. It's you assume that I have so many controls on the screen to submit back to the data source. Sorry about that. So if I click on next, I am moving my cursor or like the stage control from one stage to another. It is as simple as that. And have not taken long time to implement this. All it took me is just 10 minutes. But the beauty here is I am not wasting my number of controls count because what I'm doing exactly is I have implemented this as a component. And end of the day, a component is a reusable control in Power Apps, which I can use across the screens in Power Apps. So how did I do that is in my component, I have created a simple gallery. In gallery, all I have is one circle, one label, and also what else I have is a rectangle to just style my progress bar. So this is these are the only three controls I have to show this, to implement this progress bar. Let us go ahead and create this progress bar real quick, and I will show you how easy it is. Not only easy, now what I'm doing is the how many controls I'm saving here. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and a rectangle at the background. If I had to create this individually on the screen, I had to create 9 controls across my screens, which is going to be very bad practice. And if user want to change any text at as part of this progress bar, maker has to go and change in each and every screen. To avoid that, what we could do is we can create a component and refer that component as part of that. What happens is users experience will improve because it won't take long time to load the component, because when a component get load on one screen, it will stay in the Power Apps cache and it will load immediately with an eye blinking time. Okay, let's go ahead and create a component. So I clicked on new component and now I need to specify what is the height of my component. Say like 40 is my height and I wanted to give a complete width, which is 1366. How do I know that, Krishna? Just come here onto Power Apps screen and say like parent dot width. So that will show what is my actual width of my screen. So my parent screen width is 1366. So what I have given 1366 and I want my progress bar to be as small as I want, which is 40. And now I am going to add a gallery. So in this gallery, what I wanted to do is first thing I want to do is I want to change the orientation of the gallery layout from image title and subtitle to simple, very simple. All I need is just title and I don't need this navigation. So I'll just take it out. And the next one is I am passing my collection horizontal scroller, which I have created to this component. What exactly in this is I have my collection with all my labels values. If I see this items component where, so I am going to create a custom property. First thing is I'm creating a custom property as component progress values. Because why do I need that is to show as part of my progress, which is a table. When I create a table property, when I go to that, it by default Power Apps automatically creates one table which shows what I wanted as part of this. Taking time into consideration, I am not going to recreate that because I already created it. Let me take that. Take. So what I'm doing in this is I have created a table with ID. What is my stage and what is the visibility of that? I wanted to show all of them. So the visibility I maintained it as true. And now I am going to refer that as part of my gallery. So how do I refer that is component one dot the property, whatever the property I have created, which is component progress values. So that is how I can get it. Now, if you see this, it is not coming in a horizontal way, it is coming in a vertical way. How that can be controlled is using a ramp count. Go to ramp count and count rows of my, again, component one dot component progress values. So if you see that how many values I have, four. So my progress bar, my gallery count is my gallery should show four values. So automatically it just changed that, and I'm changing my gallery height to 40 and go to the label and change the label position to 0, probably 5, so that it will be center aligned. And now I am going to add a I'm going to add a circle icon to show the progress bar stage where we are exactly sitting. And I'm just changing the height and width of that fellow to 35 and position is 0 so that it will come right before. So next one is I am going to stage my label right next to the image or circle. So what I'm going to do is circle 2 dot x plus, this is called relative positioning. What I am going to do is I am saying that circle X position and circles width, and then just add probably 5 pixels so that it will go out. And I don't need the separator, so I'm just pulling this out. Now we are almost ready. Only one thing we need is that we need to add another control, which is we have to add one rectangle to highlight my background and just change that to 0 and 0, that it will come. And my I need the width as 1366 and this one as probably a 30 pixel height. And I'm going to change the background fill color as this. And then I want to get my gallery to front, so that what happens is this my rectangle will go back, and I'm changing my position of this rectangle to center. So it will come as a background. That if you see, it is exactly coming as a background. And next one is this one. I'm just increasing the circle size. And so this is the way we can create I gallery progress bar within no time. If you see, within just 6 to 7 minutes we have completed. And I'm just changing the color of the label to white so that it will come. Only one thing pending is simply where we are showing, where we are standing. So by changing the fill color of this circle, we know that where we are standing. To see that, we have to create two more properties. Number one is properties at the component level. Number one is active color, whatever we are showing. So I have created one more property with the property value as record. I am going there and say, like, colors. Always follow the best practices. If it is a variable, create it as a var, so that you know whether it is a variable or inbuilt property. So I am just giving that. What I'm doing here is I am creating what is the stage do, what color it is, and label color should be what. So I will know which is my current stage. Now, now that I have colors in hand, I will go to color this circle and circle fill property. I will change the formula to taking time into consideration. I am just referring to my existing control so that we can move on to the next topic. Here, why it is not coming is component one is outside component one, and here this one is by colors, and this one is component one, by colors, and again the same behavior. So that is how we can just refer that what it is. Why are you not coming up? Says 1 minute. I'm just missing something here. What is that? Something I'm missing. Where colors? Oh, okay. I am referring to a wrong property here. So what it is active stage should be the another property, because that will show which stage I am. ACT stage. What it is which stage I am. If that value is equal to value, if I go to active stage, say like active stage as 3, I am comparing my ID of the current item to active stage, which is nothing but my ID of the where active stage. So that will get my component color, the fill color appropriately. Come on. Okay. If that is one, it is coming fine, then it should come here as well. I don't want to waste the time. Just last time I'm going to check this component one dot where active stage where ACT one dot where ACT stage. Yes, this is the one I need, and I will change that everywhere. Oh, this is weird. Okay, for some reason it is giving me a hard time. Rather, I will just walk through with the existing control. So here, what I'm doing is as part of this component fill color active components dot where active stage, which is active stage is nothing but I'm passing the active stage which stage I am, and I am comparing with the ID. So where is this ID coming from? As when I go to the gallery, I have this table. In this table I have ID followed by label and followed by visibility. This ID is nothing but that the same ID what I am comparing here. And if that ID is greater than that, which means that we have already complete, we are at to complete. So we are showing the color fill color as to do color. And if it is active stage, which is equal, then I'm showing yellow color. And then if it is less than that, I'm going to show the color as the gray gray color. And when I come to the functionality, how do I leverage that? Is go to this components and just I just click on that component, whichever the component we have created another component which is this. So this is how we can add the component simply so that users experience will be rich. So they don't have to scratch their head that which stage they're exactly in to understand the progress of the progress of their process. And the next one is gallery on mouse over behavior. What exactly that means is that if I am implementing a table, I don't have implementing a gallery. I don't have a gallery with the property as on mouse over. Usually what happens is I'm just disabling that. If I go here, I don't know which row I am at exactly unless and until I just highlight highlight this row that I am just navigating onto this particular item. But if I create one simple button in the table in the gallery and just now you see that it is simply just showing that whether it is a clickable or not a clickable. I am just changing the behavior of that row to hand icon, and it shows as good as a hyperlink. And user when a user clicks on that, I can show that which item it is. How I achieve that is just remove that, and I just create in this gallery. I have added one more button, just collecting this, add a button and just make the button position as 0 and height as exactly the same height, and just change the button's radius as from 10 to 0. just to avoid the curvy edges which button default comes with. Now you change the properties, few other properties of the button from remove the text and just change the fill to transparent filling. That's all it is. Now what happens is I have my button control on hold. Just remove the hover. Next one is hover border. We need to change. Just add the hover color border to thick green and change the border level to probably 5. Now if you see, it automatically shows up. It is easy to understand that which row I will be navigating onto and is that row clickable or not. So usually this is something we see as part of our .NET or Java when we are creating the table. But in Power Apps, there is no out of the box control, but we can tweak that by adding this a button as part of my gallery and enable the borders and disable the change the fill color so that user will know which row they are exactly navigating onto. That will give the user to understand the very easily that which row they will be navigating onto. So having said that, my next point is text box delay property. How does this help the user is we are here to improve the user's experience by adding new properties and new controls into the screen. So what is this text delay property is when we add a okay, let me quickly add another screen, add a text box, input text, and there is a property called delay. When you go to the delay output, by default, it is okay. Great that it is didn't come as that. By default, it comes as a false in the older application, older versions. I'm using an older version. So my text box value is label value is text one dot text is a sample. As in when I'm typing, I'm getting my data here. There is no delay. If I don't enable the delay to true, what the Power App is doing, it is immediately passing the changes to the dependent controls. It is not waiting for the users to hold on their input. It is immediately now I have enabled my text box property, delay output to true. So if you notice that this is a new change. So what happens is especially where we see the impact of this is when we are filtering a gallery with text box input value as part of a filter. If you do not enable delay output on every keystroke, it will go to the database and it will get the data. If you enable this, it will hold for users input and then it will get the data. This way we can reduce the number of calls to the database, so user will also save the API calls. So that is how we can improve users experience in Power App with the help of enabling delay text box property. Thank you for attending my session. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me on my Twitter and LinkedIn. I have my YouTube channel here. I have created recently, but I have explained how to use functions, various functions. I have a series with 9 videos in that series. Uh, I am giving tip as a development tip and each and every video these days so that you can improve your development experience in Power Apps. Thank you once again. Thank you, Tiff, for hosting this session. If you have any questions, I will be here. My next session is reusable code blocks in Power Apps. If anybody is interested, please continue here. Thank you. Enjoy your rest of the day.